Question: how many AI tabs do you have open right now? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, DeepSeek, Copilot? If it feels like you need all of them just to keep up, you're not behind. You're overstacked. Most people don't need 5 subscriptions. They just need one tool used deliberately. The AI landscape is loud on purpose. Every week there's a new model, a new wrapper, a new must-have feature, and the subtext is always the same. If you're not subscribing, you're falling behind. But most people aren't losing because they picked the wrong AI. They're losing because they never stay with any one tool long enough to build skill, templates, and trust. So in this video, I'm going to give you a simple selection process. How to pick one AI that fits your day-to-day work. How to test it without getting hypnotized by demos, and the few situations where adding a second tool is actually rational. This isn't a leaderboard, it's a decision framework. By the end, you'll know what to pay for, what to ignore, and how to stop rebuilding your workflow on impulse. Let's start with the hidden cost nobody counts: tool switching. When you bounce between AIs, you don't just change the model, you change the entire conversation environment. You lose the thread, you lose your prior prompts, you lose your house style, and you end up doing the same annoying work over and over, re-explaining what you mean, what you don't mean, what format you want, and what you've already tried. Feels like a few seconds, but it's never a few seconds. It's that cognitive warm-up. It's the hesitation. Wait, how does this tool handle files again? It's the mini decision of which model to pick. And it all compounds. Here's a simple example. Say you're writing a difficult email. Tool 1 gives you a reply that's too stiff. Tool 2 gives you something warmer, but it misses a key constraint. Tool 3 adds structure, but it invents details. Now you're switching between fragments, editing tone, and fighting hallucinations. That's not leverage, it's manual labor with extra steps. And the worst part is you never build depth. You never learn a tool's quirks well enough to anticipate them. You never create reusable prompts. You never accumulate context in one place. You stay in that first date mode forever. In business terms, this is a switching cost. Friction and lost momentum. If you've ever reorganized your notes app for a fresh start, you know the trap. The system change becomes the project. So if AI feels like it's not saving you time, it's often because your workflow is fragmented across too many tools you haven't mastered. The fix for most people is not to find the perfect AI, it's just choose one and go deep. Depth gives you shortcuts, saved prompt libraries, stable tone, better memory, fewer surprises. That's what makes AI feel fast. Now let's make this practical. Here's a one-tool selection process you can run in a single afternoon. Step 1. Name your primary job to be done. Not I want AI for everything. That's not a job. A job is drafting emails, outlining videos, summarizing meetings, writing code, generating images, researching with citations, or picking through decisions. Pick that one task you do most days, the task that you would pay to make 20% easier. Step 2. Define what good looks like for that task. For writing, you might care about tone control, structure. For research, you care about sources, recency, and the ability to show your work. For coding, you care about correctness, refactoring, and respecting constraints. So write 3 criteria on a sticky note. Make it simple, not philosophical. Step 3. Pressure test AI tool free tiers with real inputs, not sample prompts, not toy examples. Use an actual email thread or a real document. Run the question you're stuck on. Run the same prompt in 2 tools, max. Otherwise, you're back to stacking. And here's the key. Don't upgrade just because you're impressed. Upgrade only when the free version creates repeatable friction. You hit caps, you need better reasoning, you need longer context, you need file handling that doesn't break. You need a feature that directly supports your job to be done. Step 4. It's optional but powerful. Build your default prompt. It's a short template you reuse. It's role, tone, output format, and a reminder like, ask me one clarifying question before you assume. To decide, score each tool from 1 to 5 on your criteria, but then add one more category, friction, how much cleanup you had to do. If 2 tools tie, choose the one you'd reach for first, then commit to it for 2 weeks and use it daily. You're not just selecting a model, you're building a habit loop. Here's an example default prompt. You are my assistant. Keep it concise, professional, and specific. If you lack info, ask one question. Output as bullet points. Then save that, reuse it. That single move reduces random inputs more than switching tools ever could, day after day. So when does a second tool make sense? Only when it solves a specific constraint your primary tool can't solve reliably. And there are 3 common cases. Case 1, you need current information with visible sourcing. If your work depends on up-to-date facts, prices, policies, news, research, you want a tool that can browse and let you verify. Case 2 is privacy and compliance. If you handle sensitive client data, internal documents, or anything your organization will be unhappy to see in a training set, you may need a tool with stricter defaults, strong enterprise control, or on-prem options. The exact choice depends on your risk tolerance, but the principle is consistent. Your workflow should match your data classification. Case 3, specialized capabilities. Some tools are unusually strong at long context document work, others at coding, others at image generation. If you truly live in one of those edge cases, second tool can be worth it. But notice what I'm not saying. Get a second tool because people on the internet have one. Here's the operational rule. Every tool in your stack needs a job description you can say in one sentence. My main AI drafts and thinks with me. My second AI is for web research with citations. Or my second AI is for code reviews in this one language. If you can't say the job in one sentence, that tool is not a tool. It's a subscription-shaped distraction. And once you add a second tool, you have to minimize overlap. Don't use both tools for the same tasks. That's how your stack expands and why you end up paying for duplicates. Also, be explicit about handoffs. Usually you would move a clean summary, not raw data. Paste bullet point findings into your main AI to draft that narrative. If you feel tempted to add a third tool, pause first. That's usually a sign your criteria weren't clear. Now let's talk about how people accidentally build an AI stack. Mistake 1 is upgrading before pressure. You try a tool once and you get a wow output and you subscribe before you've proven that it will handle your boring, repetitive work. Mistake 2, confusing novelty for utility. New features feel productive because they're new. But if they don't reduce your friction in your primary job to be done, they're entertainment. Mistake 3, evaluating tools with different prompts. You test tool A with a careful prompt, but tool B with a vague one. You decide B is worse. That's not a fair test. You need the same input, same constraints, same success criteria. Mistake 4, spreading your defaults everywhere. Each tool has different settings, different memory behavior, different formatting quirks. So you end up rebuilding your voice and your rules in 5 places. That's why outputs feel inconsistent. Mistake 5, just-in-case subscriptions. People keep paying because canceling feels like losing optionality. But optionality has a carrying cost, money, attention, and decision fatigue. The quick fix is to make a simple stack map. Tool, job, trigger. If you can't fill in job and trigger in one sentence, delete that line. Then run a monthly audit. What did I actually use? What did I trust? Your goal isn't minimalism, but reliability. Fewer moving parts, fewer surprises, more throughput. An example, main AI. It drafts and edits in my voice. Trigger, anytime I'm making words. The research AI. Find sources and citations. The trigger is anytime a claim could be wrong. Then a final rule. If you didn't use a tool in the past 30 days, pause it. Resubscribe only when pressure returns with a clear job. So let's recap the whole idea in one sentence. Depth beats breadth. That's a tongue twister. Pick one AI that matches your most common task. Define what good means. Pressure test it with real work. Upgrade only when the free tier creates friction. And add a second tool only when it has a clear one-sentence job, like citations, privacy, or a specialty edge case. If you do that, AI stops feeling like a hobby and starts feeling like infrastructure. One more practical suggestion. Keep a small prompt vault. 2 or 3 defaults you reuse for your core tasks. That's how you get consistency without micromanaging every output. So if this video helped you simplify your setup, give it a like. It tells me that this kind of systems first clarity is worth making. And if you want more grounded frameworks for using AI without getting swallowed by the hype cycle, subscribe. I put out new episodes every week focused on leverage, not noise. Also, drop a comment. How many tools are you paying for right now, and which one do you use the most? I read these and it helps me shape follow-ups. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one.